a hot brand is a brand which with which consumers can connect very meaningfully, deeply and intimately. So that is what to me is a hot brand. And I do believe strongly that it is possible to stay hot forever.
Is it possible for a brand to be hot forever? Theoretically, the answer is yes, but one needs to constantly reinvent the brand messaging and what it stands for while remaining true to the core and the essence of the brand, because the consumer is changing all the time. I mean, let's take the example of Amitabh Bachchan. You know, he was the angry young man, let's say in my generation, and then he became the host of KBC, let's say 20 years or 30 years later, and now he's playing character roles, etc. I mean, who else can sit on a toilet bowl and pick up a faucet and sing Pidli Si Baate and make it look cool? So I think the persona of Amitabh Bachchan is a good example of how a brand needs to constantly reinvent itself to remain relevant and contemporary and therefore hot.
There are several brands who have done that in the past as well. And if I take the example of Wrangler itself, it is a 100-year-old brand. It was designed for a cowboy more than 100 years back, a functional denim brand. And even today it is relevant to the Indian consumers and relevant to the consumers globally as well. In India, the way we are trying to make it more relevant to the audience is by targeting the young Indian biking community, which we believe is emotionally very similar to the cowboy for whom the brand was originally designed, and that was the original target consumer. So the whole emotion of love for free-spirited attitude, adventure, outdoors is very similar in both cases of a cowboy and today's Indian biker. The horse is of course replaced by a bike, but the spirit and the emotions remain the same. So what we are then trying to do is trying to ensure that the younger Indian biker is the one who we are going after and making the brand relevant by a couple of things. So that's one way of trying to make a brand contemporary. The other way could be where the core of the brand is still the same, but as the brand evolves over a period of time, there could be pillars of the brand that could emerge organically, and these pillars are pillars which the consumers themselves are talking about.
It's not easy to do because the consumers is constantly changing. So when, let's say, my generation talks about winning the Cricket World Cup, we are talking about Kapil Dev in '83, whereas my daughter's generation is talking about Mahendra Singh Dhoni in 2011. I think only Amitabh Bachchan can be Don, whereas she thinks Shah Rukh Khan is the coolest Don. So one needs to constantly reinvent, stay true to your core, but constantly reinvent and stay relevant and contemporary. It is possible, but extremely hard.